What it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm a drama like prison web. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping. Because you got to hold your breath for justice, to see justice before all face to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, y'all see that beautiful sunset behind me. Girl, I just got out and took pictures. Y'all know I do sunset photography. I be capturing some beautiful images of the sunset. That is God's art, right? I just be admiring his artwork. It's different every day, and it's just so crazy how beautiful it is. Wish that I could paint those colors if I could just get those colors to paint with, girl. But anyway, so today is March the 27th, 2025. Just getting, not really just getting off of work. This is my day 4 back at work. Got off of work, went to the park. I know I'm pushing it. Went to the park to walk, but I know I'm pushing it, but I want to be back to my old self yesterday. Like yesterday. Like I don't want to wait for all this long recovery time. So I'm trying to get my body back strong like right now. So literally yesterday I did so much walking. I walked at the park. I walked around the neighborhood. Like I would take breaks in between and walk. Or I recorded a video, then I'll walk and review it. I know. I gotta take it slower, but Cadillac don't know how to do that. Cadillac push that gas, right? That's what I'm used to doing, pushing that gas and go. And I'm a very strong-willed person. I have a strong will, like for real. I just when my mind is set on something, girl, we achieving it. Like even I just took a little walk and just passed a little jujitsu class, and it just brought back memories of when I was in martial arts. And your girl got all the way up to brown belt. I'm supposed to be black belt, so I might go back. I plan on going back, brush myself back up, and we going in there and get my little black belt. That's what the next journey needs to be. But my little finances, because now I got to buy medicines with my last your bottom dollar, bet your bottom dollar. Now my bottom dollar gotta go to medicines and stuff, girl. This is crazy. So forget the chiropractor. I thought I was gonna be going back to the chiropractor because I already got them herniated discs and stuff. Had to take off from a chiropractor, but now I may not see him no time soon because now I got to pay for these medicines and such. And then I definitely can't pay for the martial arts class. So, girl, whew. But I was peeking in the dough, and it's like it brought back so many memories. But I know I learned enough that I could just refresh myself. I could look up little tutorials online, and then I could make my own little martial arts fitness program. Um, so far I have bought a lot of things from Five Below, so I'll do a little haul. I'll show y'all me trying to. Yesterday I tried to do a push-up, girl. My arms are gone to bed. Like I'm literally, I'm gonna show you. I mean, I don't be too shamed. Like, I mean, I ain't perfect, but I don't be too shamed. I show y'all how I am or whatever. But I'm gonna show y'all the little hanging arms now that I got. That used to be filled with fat and muscle, girl. I always had them big arms, but now it's like saggy. Like so, I'm gonna show my progress. I'm gonna build that muscle back up. Like when I was in the hospital. The nurse was like, well, the dietitian had to do a physical on me because what I went through can destroy your muscles. Like literally, your body it didn't ate up my body fat, and then it started to attack the muscles. But I lost muscle strength, but I didn't lose. She was like, the muscle's still on the bone. I'm like, it's supposed to come off the bone, like girl. Are you kidding me? Uh, and every time I think about that, it's like all praises be to the Most High that kept me. Girl, he kept me. What he kept me for, we got to figure this out because he kept me for a reason. He don't just keep me for nothing, right? But anyway, this is day 4, getting off of work. Yesterday I did, after I walked, I tried to do some push-ups. I couldn't even push myself 1 inch off that floor. But I guess I got a little, it still worked my muscle just pressing against the floor. So I got to get back to being able to do a push-up. I did a few crunches, not many because my muscles, they are tight and they hurt. Uh, and then I walked a lot. So I'm just gonna have walking be my main basis of workout until I could start adding more things, right? But anyway, so that's how my progress, like recovery, is going. And at work, I felt like I was moving a little bit faster. I did the dishes. I was able to lift the dish racks. I actually carried 3 trays today, trays of food. Remember, I said I had to just go down to 2 trays. I actually carried 3 today. I didn't do it a lot, but I did it once, and it wasn't feeling like my back was breaking and my core was hurting. So I got to be getting stronger. Um, yeah, so it was good. And I'm getting the hang of lunches because it's timed out now because of the medicines or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with the story time. Now, where I'm at today, hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, it won't stop. Give me 1 second. Could y'all give me a second? And just to let you know, we are back at my regular recording spot yesterday. And just to let you know, we are back at my regular recording spot yesterday. Worked out a little bit, but he kind of still wasn't the best quality. This where I get that good Wi-Fi and such. Y'all remember when I used to go to Walmart every day to feed they little, use their little Wi-Fi? Until now, they put all this other stuff because they want to track when you up in their store. So I don't use their Wi-Fi no more. Girl, rhymed again, and I wasn't even trying. But yeah. So this is the story time of when I got out the hospital. Right. So today is the 27th. When did I get out the hospital? It's met. I think it's been 10 days, has it? No, 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 no. I went in on the 17th. So I would have got out the 27th. I mean, 21st. Right? I believe so. Right? No, that's wrong. That is wrong. I got out on the 17th. Okay, I got out on the 17th. So I went 4 days prior. So by the 18th, that's when it was all on me. So I was released. They were okay. I just to synopsize, I ended up going from pre-diabetic, diet control, weight controlled, to instantly being off the charts. A1C of 14, which y'all know that means we don't know how high that is, like ridiculously high. Um, Even from my previous doctor, he was like, "You don't get here overnight. So how did you do this? Like, what happened?" And he couldn't understand, but he knew right now we need to do something because this is very bad. Okay, they found out that I had ketoacidosis. I was in DKA when I went into the emergency room. Okay, so the only way to treat it is through insulin. Um, and I was released. with insulin. So I have to see an endocrinologist. They are the only one that can see if, hey, do you truly need this insulin? Can we find out other ways to treat? Because previous to going into the hospital, I had a whole different treatment plan. They were prescribing a medicine. It wasn't going to be insulin. It was going to be that with diet change, and basically what I'm doing now. I'm still doing the diet change. I'm still doing the so it was all of that, but instead of insulin, it was going to be just once a week injection, and it was another medicine added. That was the plan, to get these sugars down, and then she can wean me off of the medicine if everything is going accordingly. But upon going into the hospital and having ketoacidosis, the only way to treat it is through insulin. So you're released on insulin until you follow up with your doctor and they decide what they're going to do. Well, when I followed up, my doctor let me know that she doesn't like to mess with the insulin like that. So she's going to leave me on insulin until an endocrinologist can sufficiently check everything and then decide, do I really need the insulin like that? Right now, my sugars are doing so good, girl. I'm even wondering, do I need this stuff? And believing this is just the sickness, that the stomach virus that threw me into this, um, and not really my real A1C being 14. Because when I Google what can give you a false A1C, those things came up: dehydration, and can give you a false A1C because it's too much sugar concentrated, and not enough water to make it do what it do in your body, right? So, upon being released, the day I was going to get out, which I didn't even know I was going to get out because they kept saying, "Oh, you might get out of ICU today." Oh, no, you're not. So I just gave up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be here till I go home. So screw it. Don't even tell me I might go home again because I don't want to keep hearing that. So that's how I am. Like, even with my little husband, my husband's wrongfully incarcerated. And it used to be, oh, once this happens, he'll be able to come home. And once this happens, then he'll be able to come home. And I got to the point where I was like, ugh, like, whatever. If you don't come home, this is how it's going to be. I have to accept the way it is being with him through bars, right? That's the way I am. If I keep pushing towards something and it does not happen, I take that off the table. It's almost like, what was that? Hurricane, the movie Hurricane, where he basically just let everything go. He didn't want them to be able to hold nothing over his head. And once he let it all go, it didn't hurt him anymore, right? So once I let that go, the fact that he's wrongfully incarcerated, shouldn't even be in prison, and we got to get him home. Once I let the notion that he should be home go, I was able to deal with it a lot better, right? Doesn't make sense, but that's how I am. So when you keep telling me you might get out of ICU today, and then I see I'm still in ICU, girl, don't even keep it to yourself. I get out when I get out. So they ended up moving me to something called PCU, which I'm like, what is PCU? Marcello, he said it's protective custody. Like, that's what it is in prison. I said, I don't know what it is. What is PCU? But they moved me to a PCU floor. Um, which I got that story time once I'm telling the story backwards, so it'll be on my feed in the correct manner that I want it. But when I tell the story of being in the hospital, my hospital stay, then I'll tell you more about that. But anyway, so they kept saying they might release me, but it was supposed to be in the morning. And I know when it becomes like later at night, they don't release you. They keep you the whole next day. So I had to see, I think I was supposed to see an endocrinologist before I left the hospital, but he never came in. They never came. Now I'm waiting on an appointment to see one, but they never came. So I didn't see them. I seen the dietitian, and then I was supposed to see. They were supposed to go over. They were gonna show me how to um, check my blood sugar myself and administer the insulin myself. They say they walk you through it, and so that they know how to um, care for yourself once you leave the hospital. What ended up happening is that my job has a healthcare, like a whole area, that like a whole doctor's office basically. They got their own pharmacy, and the pharmacy for the people that work at the theme park is actually cheaper. You can get your medicine significantly cheaper. Like before, I had blood pressure medicine, and when I went to the regular pharmacy, I used to pay a pretty penny for it, and I would have to break it down to get it 30 days at a time because it was more. But when I started using their pharmacy, it was significantly less, like one third. I would pay two-thirds less, basically. So I could pick up my whole 90-day supply. So that's a good benefit for the job. So when they start prescribing me all these different medicines because they started out on a different medicine, but then the hospital changed it to the insulin. They prescribed the thing to test your blood, the little prick things. They prescribed the strips, right? So my daughter had checked it one time before I went to the hospital, but after that, the hospital was checking it like seemed like 5 seconds they were checking it. Okay, so I had picked that up prior, but I hadn't really used it. So and I paid less for it, but it still was a lot for my pockets, girl, because I already got less in my pockets. So what they were trying to do was the insulin had got sent in, and you can't skip the insulin. So I needed to pick up the prescription, but I had to pick it up before this pharmacy closed because the pharmacy closes at 6 p.m. So it's not open late like the other ones. If I wanted to get that discounted price. So she was trying to rush my release because they probably would have tarried even more. But she was trying to rush my release so I can make it to the pharmacy. Because if I didn't make it on time, I was going to have to pay more, like 3 times more for my insulin, right? And it already hurt my pocket. So it's going to hurt my pocket 3 times more, hurt my pocket. And so that's what they were trying to do, rush the release. And they ended up releasing me without showing me how to do the things myself. So I was praying. And while I was in the hospital, oh my gosh, I remember when I had money, because that's the only other hospital stay in my life, my entire life, is when I gave birth to my daughter in 2001. And then this ketoacidosis in 2025. So 24 years, I have never been in the hospital. Girl, never been there. So this was quite different. Going from being the healthiest one and caregiving to everybody to, girl. So they didn't get to show me anything. Oh, that's what I was about to say. The food has changed. The food, when I had my daughter, they was like, "Oh, you hardly touched your plate." I'm like, "Cause that stuff nasty," but I couldn't tell them. They didn't even warm my food up. It was cold in the middle. It had like ice cubes, and it was hot food that was not hot. It was ice cold. Of course, I hardly touched it. Of course, I had people bring me in food, but I couldn't have people bring me in food this time because they were watching me. Like, you can't do that because it was basically the sugar is what had me in trouble. So of course you can't run me anything. Like my daughter had brought me moles, not moles. What's that? Chipotle, and I was gonna eat it, and then they was like, nope, you can't eat that. You can't even eat. Matter of fact, you can't eat nothing. What you can have tonight is some sugar-free Jello, is what they gave me. Two sugar-free Jellos and a little can of Shep's um ginger ale. That was it. And I hadn't ate for over 24 hours. That's all they gave me. So this time the food was good. I am not gonna hold you. That food was so good and it kept me full. So they had came in and took my dinner order, but I was like, I might not be here because they're releasing me, but Jesus, please let them bring my dinner because they serve dinner pretty early. Let them bring my dinner before I'm released. Because then at least I ain't got to worry about getting no food. And they already gave me my insulin. So that's what happened. They had already gave me my insulin. I already ate. And then I was released just in enough time to make it to the pharmacy. So I was good for that night. But when I woke up the next morning, I knew that I had to take control for myself. So that morning, I my daughter, she had did my insulin that night because I did have to take one more dose before I went to sleep. But I knew I had to start doing it myself. So I was like, I'm gonna get up early. I was off. I took a few extra days off because I knew I had to get myself in order to even be able to keep up with this and work, right? I knew that was gonna be hard. So I think about everything. I told y'all I'm an overthinker. So I'm like, I better get up early. I am going to Google like how to even use the little glucometer or whatever thing. So I Google it. I get up early. I know you got to eat at certain times. I got to get more of a schedule timed eating or whatever. And I have to take the insulin, but I had to take the insulin 30 minutes prior to eating. So I got up early enough and I'm Googling, and the tutorial is so like, even when I was in school, girl, the teacher would lose me right off bat. So I would just be daydreaming in class. I didn't learn by someone telling me. And especially if you're trying to be all high tech and you're trying to use these big words and you're trying to, baby, break it all the way down. Talk to me like I'm a child, because if you don't, that's how I learn. I'm not saying I'm you know, not smart or anything. I'm very intelligent. But when I'm learning, I learn very slow. And I need you to break this all the way down to the most simplest way you can say this. So the tutorials were too advanced for me. And I just could not follow it. So I couldn't check my sugar. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go up to Walgreens, because before they released me, the nurse was like, any Walgreens pharmacist can walk you through how to check your sugar and can also show you how to administer the insulin. So I'm like, cool. Let me go ahead, go up to the Walgreens. I get up there early. I even took pictures of that, vlogging that, right? And it wasn't open yet. So I'm like, oh gosh, they open pretty late now. So they weren't open. So my first mind said, go to the pharmacy that is at your job. But I was like, I don't want to drive way over there. There's a Walgreens right here. I could just sit and wait until, they open, which they opened in about 15 more minutes. So The first mind was like, just take them 15 minutes and drive on to work, girl. And go to that pharmacy. You go with your first mind. The first mind is the Holy Spirit. He's leading that first mind. We be, no, no, let's go with the second mind. The second mind don't be the Holy Spirit. That be your tail or that be the enemy, right? So the second mind was saying, why would you want to drive around that? And then I didn't have no gas in my car. Car was on E. So it was like I would have had to go get gas. I would have had to drive, but that's what I should have done. I waited, and then I waited for them to open slowly but surely. They opened. And I was the first one there. Nobody was there, and then people started to line up behind me. Then when they opened, and I said, well, they told me I picked up my prescriptions from the Walgreens. So I'm in the system, and I was told that any pharmacist can show me how to. So I still bought it from the same company. Like I bought my stuff from the same company. I just don't know how to use it. And she says, well, you're going to have a seat and just wait because we just opened. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm patient. I'm sitting down waiting. And then she basically, they never come in, like, they never call me. I'm just sitting there waiting for about 20 minutes. At this point, I needed to go ahead, take this insulin, and I need to eat because I'm on a time. So you delaying breakfast means you're delaying lunch, means you're delaying, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to stay on the schedule. I'm trying to do everything right. When I'm first learning something, I'm by the book, so I know maybe it didn't make much of a difference. But at this time, I'm freaked out. I'm going just thrown into this new diagnosis and don't know, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot at once. Okay, so as I'm like, you know what? Let me just go get the gas, put a few dollars of gas, and I rode on to. I was headed to my pharmacy at the job. Okay, that's when one of the nurses at the hospital called, and it was so random. They called to check on me, and there's like, "How are you doing today?" And I'm like, "I am freaking out." Because I don't even know how to check the blood, and I know I have to take this insulin. So I don't even know how to do step one to do step two. So the lady is trying to walk me through it. She's like, I tell her that I'm down the street. She was like, well, maybe I could walk you through on the phone. So I pull over, and she's trying to walk me through it, and it's not, the little thing is not pricking my finger. It's like I would hear it click, but it never pricks the finger to be able to, get the little droplet of blood to test or whatever. So she I said I might need to actually see how to do it because it's not working like this. So I head to I start heading on to the pharmacy, and she's like, just call me back if you have any more questions, whatever. And I'm like, I will do. So I'm nervous and frustrated and everything else. So I'm headed there, and then that's when it dawns on me. My daughter and my cousin, they work directly close to where I work. They're right next to each other. We're basically like almost the same company. We're two different companies, but under the same umbrella. So they're very close. So I'm like, you know what? My daughter did this last night. I could stop by her job and she could do it real quick or show me how to do it so I can at least get the first dose so I can eat it so I can go on about the day. So instead of going to the pharmacy, I went to my daughter. So my daughter's like, oh, your cousin is going to come down and he's going to do it. Because he's already diabetic. So he knew how to administer the injection and everything. Now, this is the kicker. He's fully blind, though. So he can't really just do it on me because he can't see it, but he knows enough of the steps to tell me how to do it. This was the craziest. So they let me in the building, the security. He came down there and he ended up doing he couldn't he kept trying to prick my finger, but it would not prick. So it was that I was doing it correctly. It just was not working. So he's like, I don't understand this. And then the second thing, they did not give me the needles for I have an insulin pen, which my cousin helped me with that too, because they were trying to prescribe me the old syringes, the regular syringe. And he was like, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because you're legally blind. So you have a little bit of vision, but you got to really see what you're doing to be doing that. He's fully blind and he has the little pen, and he's like, it clicks, so you can tell how much insulin you're using, and you don't want to overdo the insulin. You don't want to make a mistake and thought you seen this and give yourself too much or too little. So he was like, I really don't think that syringe is good for her. That's what he kept going back and forth with the doctor. So they went with the pen. Now I'm thinking a pen, okay, everything is here. He's like, so where's the needles? I'm like, what needle? The needle that goes on the pen. How are you going to inject this? I'm like, I don't know. I thought you just click it and that's, so I didn't even know you need needles with the thing. So they gave me the day before when I picked it up before they closed, they gave me the insulin, but they did not give me the needles. So how am I going to take the insulin? So I'm like, why would they do that? That doesn't even make sense. And I can't check my blood. He's like, don't worry, of course he has all the supplies. So end up he had me upstairs where he was working at his cubicle, and he is trying to explain it as I'm in the background, like, and at them little call centers you can hear everything in the background. I'm like, no, 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 no. Because my daughter, she sits right next to him. So she went on and did it. And I was just freaking out because he was walking her through how to do it. But he had the needle to be able to take the insulin. Ugh, it was so crazy. So I left. And I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm glad I came to this pharmacy because the pharmacy was right next door. Because I'm like, okay, why did y'all have me yesterday pick up this insulin and there was no needles? So the lady's like, you don't have no needles? I'm like, why would I? I don't even know I need needles. I said, I just found out that I don't know nothing about this. And she's like, oh, okay. Because most diabetics have needles, extra needles and stuff like that. And she said that the doctor put on there to please give needles. And she said, we don't just give needles, they have to prescribe it. So she then goes through to the insurance, and she emails the doctor puts a prescription, and then she's like, later today we'll give you a call. But my cousin had a few, because like she said, most diabetics have needles, so he had a lot. He had an unopened box. He had more than he needed, so he gave me a few until my prescription would come through. So I'm like, that didn't make no sense. I mean, I need needles, but I didn't know that. So then I said, also, I don't understand with this glucometer thing, it doesn't even prick my finger. So she asked, do you have it with you? And I'm like, yes, I have it with me. She said, is it open? I'm like, yeah, it's open, but I haven't been able to use it because I don't know how to use it. So and they prescribed the little lance. The lance is the little thing that pricks your finger. And then they prescribed the strips, right? So as I do it, she's like, show me how you're doing it. I put the lance in, I put the top over it, I click it, and I said, see, it doesn't even touch my finger. And she's like, wait, what lance are you using? And I'm like, the ones that I was prescribed, the prescription box I picked up, and it was all the way up, turn the knob all the way to the highest thing, so it should have pricked really good, and it wasn't even pricking at all. And she said, "Oh, that's because the lances are too short." I'm like, so why would they prescribe me this and prescribe short lances? And she's like, that these are more like for a kid or something like that. And she was like, did you open the box? I'm like, yeah, I opened the box. Well, she was like, did you open the box or were you using the sample ones that came with the glucometer? And I was like, what sample ones? And then that's when she pulled out the pouch of the samples. And of course, I was using the prescription box. So she was like, because it's already open, I can't take it back, but we could re-prescribe it, and you could just pay for that box as well. So that's what we had to do. And by that time, when they go back and forth through the insurance, I had went on and went home because it doesn't, they don't feel it just like that. But thank God, ended up when my daughter was getting off of work, she was able to run next door and pick it up for me. So all in all, everything worked out. But that first day was so nerve wracking on my own. I know that I was so overwhelmed. I was so anxious. I was about ready to, I was like, I cannot do this. This is too much. And it felt like they set me up for failure by not even, they gave me the wrong lances and they gave me no needles, knowing I needed needles. Like, literally, if my cousin wasn't there, how do you think I was like? And then the pharmacist was like, wait, nobody explained nothing to you? And I said, no, I'm very new to this and nobody gave me any direction, so how would I just know that I need this and I need that? But yeah, it was crazy, but I'm doing really good now. Sugars are coming down again. I'm gonna go home now and do me a little bit of exercising. Thank God I close tomorrow, so I got 3 morning shifts. So I love my Thursday when I'm on, because it gives me more time in between. I don't get off of work and then have to wake up the next morning and go to work. I go to work in the evening. And for some reason, evening shifts go much faster, much faster. So your work day is faster, right? So I be riding out. Usually I stay up as late as I want to. Like, it's like a no curfew day because ain't no work in the morning. So I do want to, I keep saying I'm gonna go home and finish this introverted rock star. I really need to finish it. So hopefully I got a little bit of energies and such to do my little exercises. Gotta do that first. And then finish up introverted rock star. Maybe we'll listen to, I've been listening to a lot of content about I've been closely following the Angie Stone case. So possibly we'll see what they talking about as I finish Introverted Rockstar. I do want to do a tribute painting to Miss Angie Stone. I really do want to do that. But I'm trying to learn. So previous, what I would have did, I don't care what project I'm working on. When I get a new idea for a new project, I gotta drop everything that I'm doing and I jump to the new thing and I never finish the old thing. I remember, I don't know what year that was, but my whole motto was finish what I started. And I still ain't hardly did that. I'll start, but never finish. So I definitely, before I move on to the next project, Reach the World, have got to finish Introverted Rockstar. I haven't even finished. Do y'all remember I did dang, what is her name? Oh, the last few project Reached the World. I ain't even finished. I did not finish. The ones I did finish is KK from Set Apart to Serve. So if I finish your stuff, that's special because I don't finish. And I finished Danny Collins. I finished his. There's a couple of other ones, a lot of other ones, majority other ones I did not finish. I even get to almost finish and then won't finish. But yeah, thank you guys for rolling with your girl. We are on this journey together, journey to friend my little husband, journey to health, and journey to art and creating, right? And serving my purpose that God saved me here for, right? All right, hiss your girl Cadillac.